Greetings, Cubs. Welcome and welcome back again. It's time to step into the lion's den. Today I'm going to be doing a reading on NCT's Johnny. And how we get started is we usually do the personality reading. And this is the deck called the Caroline Mays Archetype Cards. So you can find those on Amazon or you can find those on hayhouse.com. So if you're interested, you know, go there and check it out. So let's start off with Johnny. I'm going to do a personality reading, and personality readings go like this. These cards can be read in both positive and negative traits. So we have the upright and reverse. Sometimes idols get a lot of negative cards. Sometimes they get a lot of positive cards. But this is just a reading. Please take it with a grain of salt. Nothing is a fact unless it is proven. If you do not like or want to see your idol have negative cards or hear what the cards are saying, then please feel free to skip past this part of the reading. Okay, so before we get started, well, no, let's get started. Okay, Johnny. What are your most dominant personality traits right now? Let me actually pull Johnny's picture up on my computer over here. I know what Johnny looks like, but I'm just going to pull it up. Okay. Why are these all negative? It's like as soon as I pull the picture up, why? Okay, come on. Oh my god, okay. Wow, is this whole thing is in reverse? I don't know. No, it's not. Half of it is. Doesn't matter. This is a lot of cards, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I put other cards back because I'm trying to keep this to a 6-card minimum. But yeah, this is a personality reading. Let's get started. You can find those over on my channel in the price listings. Okay, in community section under price listings. So we have healer in reverse. It says taking advantage of those who need help and also failing to care for oneself. Johnny could be a little bit hard, I guess you could say. Johnny can be someone who also has, I wouldn't say toxic masculinity at all, more so, well, I would say more so he expects people to be stronger than they are, possibly, and so he may not give himself as much of a break as he probably doesn't give other people that much of a break. So he could be seen as someone who can be a little bit hard on others. That's potentially, and alleged for entertainment purposes only, but he could be potentially a little bit harder on people than needed. We do have engineer. It said in reverse, it says reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. So Johnny can be someone who's more so on team, probably someone who's more focused on views, numbers, and those kinds of things than he is concerned about enjoying things, probably more concerned with making something look good rather than making something feel good. That kind of energy, like very materialistic in a sense, or very sort of like just he wants the numbers to talk, he wants the views to talk, he wants all of that to talk. He's not really concerned about too much how you feel, but how much he feels like they are succeeding or he's succeeding. We have scribe in reverse. It says altering facts, plagiarizing others' work. This is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. He could be the type to, you know, do a lot of sampling of other people's works or a lot of weird remixes to things, or like at least suggest that they do something like that. Sorry, I had to add some tea. But yeah, he needs to be careful in writing his rhymes, like from taking things that could be, you know, something a little old school, let's say it's like, you know, if anyone who knows that old school lottie-dottie, we like to party, we don't cause trouble, we don't bother nobody, right? He needs to be careful of like drawing inspiration for something like that and using that whole line and then putting something in Korean afterwards for, like, let's say his rap, but not really realizing that you can't take that whole phrase and then, you know, it not be almost a complete copy. So I feel like it's more so drawing a lot of inspiration from like raps or things that used to make him happy and using that to implementing that in his music potentially, or eventually, because he probably, I don't know if he writes or does anything like that, but I would say that's something that he needs to be careful about. We have servant. We had in reverse. It says using the lack of money as an excuse to not move forward in life. Has a little bit of a giver-upper kind of personality then, definitely. He's like, if we don't have the resources for something, he's not going to put any extra effort into, you know, doing something that's not going to pay or he's not going to receive the benefits of. He kind of gives me a little bit of Chris back when he was in EXO. Like, Johnny is giving me very, he gives me very much, I'm going to give this 2 more years, and if this doesn't work, I'm just going to up and leave one day. Like, that's what he makes me think. But yeah, moving on. So we also have detective. It says voyeurism and falsifying information. I feel like Johnny's a bit of an exaggerator. Like, I feel like Johnny is he's like a person who can sees and like knows what other people are doing and thinking, and he can take something and run with it and sort of exaggerate what was said. Like, let's say like 2 members have beef, right? And let's say somebody is talking to one of their friends and they're like, yo, like, I really didn't like the way that person treated me just then. Like, that really made me upset. Johnny could see that, overhear it, and be like, you know, next thing you know, talking to the whole group, like, oh, bro, dude, man, just said he hates so-and-so. Like, man, it was crazy. He just called him all kinds of things. Like, you know, sort of like blowing things really way out of proportion and making things seem a lot worse than it was. So, like, Johnny's an instigator. That's how, but Johnny's an instigator. And he can, that could end up backfiring on people he cares about because he instigates things and makes it worse than it is. We also have liberator. It says imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. So he can be a little bit bossy and controlling. He can use whatever it is, his abilities, like I said before, with being able to see and overhear things and knowledge or information that he has. He can use that as a weapon against people. So that's what we have for Johnny's main traits. It wasn't, even though all of these are negative, it's not overly bad. At least in my eyes, it's not overly bad. We do have like some giving up too easily. We do have a little bit of play too much. You actually gonna really mess up somebody's relationships. You know, we have some, he may not be that helpful in situations where people need some healing. But for the most part, I don't think that it's that bad. But it's just, these are definitely things that he should be working on, and just making sure he's careful of. So that's what we have for Johnny. This is a personality reading. As I said before, y'all know where to find it. Okay, moving on. Johnny is in NCT, and I just want to go ahead and shuffle for cards to see how he feels about being in NCT. Lottie-dottie, we like to party. Darn it, now that it's going to be stuck in my head. Okay, so how does Johnny feel about being in NCT? Or SM for that matter, to be honest. I do have to do a, and I need to do it this month, but I need to do a reading on these companies and basically just check out how they're going to do for the rest of the year. Like the end of the year, what are these companies looking like? Let me tell you something. I don't think Johnny needs to work that much. I know that sounds weird, but I don't think that Johnny, I wonder if Johnny has like connections or something. Johnny does not have a lot of stress. Johnny seems to be a pretty laid back person. I won't say he doesn't have a lot of stress. You know, he can be stressed out by a lot of things. But like when it comes to being in the company or being in NCT in particular, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of actual stress there. He's definitely, we have this money motivation. Like he's money talks or he walks. Okay. So like he is like, you know, if you tell me I'm going to get paid for something, I will come out and do what I have to do. He's not necessarily in love with the idea of being an SM or NCT. But he does seem to have his own type of control somewhere in there. Like he has his own thing going on in there. He doesn't really conform, how conformity is in reverse. He doesn't really have to conform to a lot of the things that others do. I don't know why that is or what that is. So he has a little bit or a lot less stress than some other members because he just does not have that much that he needs to be, that he's responsible for or in charge of, or that much that he really needs to do. So he's just like, he's pretty chill. Like, oh, we have responsibility in reverse. So yeah, he doesn't have that many responsibilities, or at least that's how he feels. He doesn't feel like he has that. Well, what the card said, this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. Take everything with a grain of salt. Nothing is fact unless it's proven. So, yeah, so he's just like, he doesn't really have that much that he's supposed to be responsible of. I don't know how many lines he has or how many center spots he has, but he's over here like, he doesn't have to do much and he gets paid. And that's all that he's concerned about. It's like, as long as I get my money, as long as I don't have to do a whole lot, I'm good. Like I said, he's not necessarily in love with the idea, but he definitely has a lot less stuff to do, and I think he prefers it that way. It may be more beneficial to him. So yeah, that's what we have for his feelings about being in his group. Okay, I'm actually going to pull one of these cards for him. Don't know why, but I'm going to. By the way, that was an oracle reading, so you can find that on the price listings on my channel in the community section. Okay, hopefully all my stuff doesn't fall off the table on the side, because I am low-key, high-key making a mess. These cards are kind of big. Okay, let's get an oracle card, another oracle card for Johnny and how he's feeling now. Here we go. Expectations. Don't seek anybody else's approval. Like I said, like Johnny is pretty laid back. Johnny is pretty much, you know, in the cut. He's like, he doesn't really have, that's why we had that responsibility card in reverse. He doesn't have any responsibilities that are overbearing for him. He's pretty relaxed. He doesn't really need to be, he doesn't really, he's not really worried about anybody else or what anybody wants him to do, because he doesn't really have that high expectations. Like, nobody's really expecting that much from him. I'm just going to be very blunt. He doesn't feel like, you know, there's anybody who's really expecting too much from him. So he can pretty much chill for the most part, and he's good. And he doesn't really care to please anybody. Like, Johnny is perfectly fine being Johnny, and he's perfectly fine in his own space. And he's like, I'm not here to please anybody. I'm not here. I'm just me. Like, as long as he has control over his own life, he's good. That's what we have for Johnny. Okay. All right. And lastly, I'm going to just, hold on. Lastly, I'm just going to go ahead and pull some tarot. Okay. All right, guys. Let's go ahead for Johnny and pull some tarot. I'm pretty much just figuring out what's the next biggest things to happen for Johnny. So what is the next biggest things to happen for Johnny in his career? This is a tarot reading. Y'all know where to find it. Community section, price listings. Yikes. Johnny needs to be very careful. So Johnny needs to be very careful. This is something quite similar to the Lucas reading, where it's just like, Lucas, once he starts getting popular, it's like almost like he's going to be betrayed by somebody. Well, in this case, it's similar because I do see the same thing happening for Johnny, except it's not really, a case of him getting popular and being betrayed, but more so him backstabbing and betraying himself and then having to leave. So Johnny needs to be careful of what he does in his downtime in the background, because that mess is going to come out. Needs to be very careful. We do have the Ten of Swords in reverse. That means, like, for me, that definitely means that he's done it to himself. So it's like something that came back, and something that he did that's come back and harmed his career. The Six of Swords is potentially him traveling back overseas, so him going back home. We do have the Four of Wands, which is his home environment, or it could even be his work environment, but it is in reverse, so it means chaos within that environment. Things are not going good. We do have the Nine of Cups. This is the wish card. This is things that he wants to happen, or like almost dreams. So that could be also like, like his dreams have been changed because of this past incident, even though it's not in reverse though. But we do have this Queen of Swords, so this is being cut off. Like, so this is somebody, I don't know if this is a woman or if this is a situation of him being cut off, or possibly cut off from his dreams, or cut off from what he wanted. We do have Seven of Wands, so this is him sort of trying to defend himself. I don't know if this is going to be like allegations, like maybe he has allegations on him for something that he may or may not have done. And, he's going to try to defend himself. I don't think, if these are allegations, I don't think they will be true. They potentially could not be true. Not really sure. This is all alleged for entertainment purposes only, but I'm not sure how that'll turn out for him. But he may possibly be cut loose if there is a scandal. Depending on how big it is, he may possibly be cut loose, or at least take a break, put in the basement. So we'll have to see if this is going to be a scandal that comes up and potentially threatens him to have to go back to the States, or, wherever it may be. But that's what we have for Johnny. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Consider following me on Patreon. That's where everyone gets all these readings first. I also have exclusive readings over there, and a tier where you can get a personal reading shipped out to you every month. So go ahead, check it out if you're interested. And yeah, if you'd like to purchase your own personal reading like these, go ahead and email me at thelionsandtarot@yahoo.com. And I have my price listings on my channel in the community section. I will see you Cubs next time. Bye bye.